Hello and welcome to the channel again here. I have another new review for you here. Today we are reviewing the Tunafire. And unfortunately this brand doesn't seem to put model numbers on anything, so I'm not sure exactly what model number this is, but it is a green micarta scale 3-inch blade knife, folding knife. As you can see here in the box, this is how it comes in the box. Nothing fancy about the box, just their branding on it. It's kind of flimsy like a lot of knife boxes are. Nothing bad about it, but it's just a knife box. Nothing inside of mine. I think there's supposed to be something, but there's nothing in there. As far as the knife goes, you can see here. Let's see if we can get a little more light on that here. Hopefully that color is coming through for you, but it's kind of a nice green color. I'm not sure exactly how to describe that, but it looks like a medium green, maybe getting close to an olive green sort of. But it's micarta scales, nice and grippy, like most micarta is. And you can see here it has these beveled edges here to make it fit in your hand a little easier. And then it has the pivot here, that's ball bearing pivots. And if I flip it over, you can see it's got a deep pocket clip, and that thing will get way down there. You might be able to see just barely the very top of the knife when it's sitting in your pocket, so it's pretty low. Nice and discreet if you care about that. It does have a lanyard holder. If you want to tie a lanyard on there, you certainly can do that. As far as adjusting the pocket clip, it doesn't look to me like there's a way to flip it to the other side, so if you're wanting to do that, that's probably not an option here unless you want to go deep into the modifications on this. It is a flipper, as you can see the flipper on the back here, and it flips out nice and easy. I would say though that over and over again, it flips nice, but it also takes a little bit more effort than a lot of my flippers. But it does work fine. And as you can see, the blade is kind of a straight back blade design, full flat grind. It's kind of a nice shape for just general purposes. This tip is like needlepoint sharp, so be careful with that thing, but it's nice if you need to do some fine detail with it. And as far as the top of the knife goes, it has this little bit of jimping here. It's really not that useful because it's so small and it's not very, the ridges on it are not very deep. We'll see if we can get that to focus in on here. Anyways, you can see it good enough, I guess, there. But it's not very deep. And then on the top of the liner, the ridges for the jimping are below the liner, so when you put your hand here, you can't really get full purchase on that jimping. So that's kind of a downer. But you know, this is a $23 knife. I got it off of Amazon for $23, my own money here, so it's not a review for a free product or anything. I paid for this. So for that price, I'm not gonna come down on it too hard for bad jimping. It does fit in my hand pretty nicely. I have probably slightly wider than average hands, and I can get all 4 fingers on there nice and tight, and it fits in the hand pretty good. It's a little bit small to get a good grip on for my hand, so just keep that in mind. If you have really big hands, this might not be the knife for you. You might want to go with a bigger folder or a handle, one with a meatier handle like a Ganzo maybe. And you can see the profile of the blade here. It's pretty thick on top, so it's going to be nice and strong for you. But the blade itself is pretty thin with that full flat grind, so it'll be good for slicing tasks. And as far as the lock is a liner lock, but as you can see, and I have a problem with these Chinese-made knives. Nothing wrong with Chinese-made knives, but a lot of them that I've been getting on the lower end of the price range here, these liner locks are not very strong. They're not very strong compared to what you'd get from American-made brand typically, or even any of the European brands. Because you can tell right there, that does not look like it's coming over very much. It does lock up good and strong. Although, when I do a test where I put some gloves on so I can't cut myself, and I wrench on this with my hands to see if I can force it. On a good quality American-made liner lock, I won't be able to force that thing to close without pushing this over. I can on this. If I push on it hard enough, it will fold up. So it's not gonna, I think for general use, it's probably gonna be fine, and you shouldn't be really using any folder really for hard use. But if you really put some pressure on, if you're in a situation where you're putting pressure on this, it will fold on you. So just keep that in mind. It's a $23 folder, so don't be going out there and being an idiot with it, alright? So that's about it for this review. So far I actually like it. It's pretty light, slim in the pocket. You don't really notice it too much. And other than the liner lock and the jimping being kind of cheap here, that are not very useful, and a little bit not super smooth on the flip, but other than that, it's actually a pretty solid knife for this price range. I did see other people mentioning, there's like one review I think on Amazon right now, and they also are noticing, sounds like the one that they got has a much bigger problem with the liner lock than this one does. This one actually, the liner lock works well enough where it's not dangerous for general use, although it's not super strong. But the one on the review on Amazon, they said that their liner lock wasn't engaging very well at all, and pretty dangerous for them. So I don't know, it might be a quality control thing too. I know with the other knife that I had gotten, the QSP Parrot that I got which is my other video, which I'll link to in the notes here. I'm waiting on that to get a return. I had two of those, and they both had a defective liner lock that wouldn't engage at all. That's another Chinese company with a lower end knife. So they're sending me a third one here, so we'll see what happens with that. But it seems like these Chinese made knives have an issue with not having very good quality control. At least these two brands, the Tunafire and QSP, have some quality control issues. And the liner locks are suspect, so just keep that in mind. But for $23, the one I have in my hand here looks pretty good. I think I'll be using it, putting it in my pocket fairly frequently, because I really like the looks of those scales. I like the micarta. It has D2 steel. I forgot to mention that, but it does have D2 steel, which I really like at this price point. So that's all I have for you here. I give it a thumbs up for the $23 price range, just keeping in mind that it's not the most sturdy knife you're going to own. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It just makes sure that I know that what I'm doing here is helpful in some way. And please leave comments down here if you have this knife or you have experience with any of the other QSP brand knives or Tunafire knives. If there's any quality issues with those, just to see if maybe the one that I was seeing on Amazon is just a one-off or something. Alright, thank you. Have a great week.